Excuse me, young lady. This isn't the welfare line first class. Is for people who can actually afford it. That's what the flight attendant, Janelle Williams, practically barked as she loomed over the elegant black woman sitting in 2A, her words slicing through the cabin like ice. Everybody nearby froze, half dreading what was coming next. The woman, cool as ever, just glanced up from her tablet with eyes that didn't blink. I have a first-class ticket, she said soft. Even. Dr. Kesha Washington. Not that Janelle cared. She snatched the boarding pass right out of Kesha's hand, checked it over like she was sniffing out a fake, and slapped it hard against her chest. The sound cracked across the cabin loud enough to draw every eye. Don't try to scam your way up here, honey. A few passengers pretended not to hear. Some stared. Kesha just adjusted her blazer, the subtle flash of her watch catching the overhead lights. Not the sort of watch you'd find at a mall kiosk. Either. Still, she stayed perfectly still, didn't flinch, didn't fumble. Ever been so underestimated that nobody in the room realized what you actually carried? There were 10 minutes left before takeoff, and suddenly the whole world seemed to shrink to this one little showdown. Janelle kept it up, snatched the boarding pass again, squinted at it like it was a bomb, and turned to the other passengers. Y'all, we got another one trying to sneak into first class, she said, raising her voice just enough for everyone to hear. A businessman in 1C reached for his phone, ready to record his version of justice. The elderly woman in 1D whispered to her husband. They always try this nonsense. Janelle fired up a live stream. Hey everyone, your girl Janelle's dealing with some drama up here in first class. And in seconds, her viewer count shot up from 20 to nearly 100. Security to gate 12. She called into her headset, still glaring at Kesha, who reached for her wallet and produced a platinum American Express Centurion card. The businessman scoffed. Probably stolen, he muttered. Kesha, unfazed, spoke quietly into her phone. Tell the board I'll be about 20 minutes late. Janelle rolled her eyes for her audience. Oh, she's got board meetings, now probably works at McDonald's corporate. The chat blew up with laughing emojis. Worse. Meanwhile, a young Latina woman in 3B shrank into her seat, clearly uncomfortable, but kept her head down. Then came the heavy step security. 2 officers, squeezing down the narrow aisle. Officer Martinez didn't even look at Kesha at first. What's the issue? This passenger is in the wrong seat, refusing to move to coach where she belongs, Janelle said, voice tight with authority. Martinez finally looked at Kesha, who sat holding a Birkin bag worth more than his car. He figured it had to be a knockoff. Ma'am, we need you to gather your things. 8 minutes to take off. Kesha's fingers tapped 3 quick messages, one to her assistant, one to her legal team, one to someone called board chair personal. Meanwhile, the businessman's phone went live on X. Hashtag first class fraud. It got retweeted 47 times in minutes. The flight attendant from coach popped her head in, asking if Janelle needed backup. Security's handling it, Janelle said, winking for her live stream. Viewer count, 156 and rising. A middle-aged black man in 4C stood up. Halfway. Excuse me. This doesn't seem right. The lady has her boarding pass. Sir, please remain seated. Martinez shot back. The elderly woman spun around, dripping with condescension. Honey, she's obviously trying to scam her way up here. Some folks began to murmur one side, then the other. The young woman in 2C looked like she wanted to speak, but didn't. Officer Martinez stepped in closer. Ma'am, we need to resolve this quickly. The flight needs to depart. Kesha kept her calm, eyes steady. I'm waiting for the captain to review the situation. Janelle's live stream exploded. Make her show receipts. Drag her off. Why do they always play victim? Janelle barked. Security, please escort her off so we can get these paying customers to their destination. The elderly woman, loving every second, nodded. Finally, someone with sense. Martinez reached for his radio. Ground control. We may need a gate return for passenger removal. 6 minutes until takeoff. And then, Senior Flight Manager Derek Jenkins appeared. Starched uniform and clipboard. Looking every bit the man in charge. What's the delay? He asked. Passenger in the wrong seat. Refusing to move. Janelle replied. Jenkins took in the scene Kesha's posture. Accessories. The growing storm. Something flickered behind his eyes. Ma'am, may I see your boarding pass and ID? Kesha smiled. Just barely. And handed them over. Jenkins scrutinized both. Boarding pass. Seat 2A. First class. Purchased 3 days ago for $2. 847. ID DR. Kesha, Washington. Buckhead. Atlanta. The real deal. But Jenkins, seasoned, went to his tablet. Checked the Central System, Washington. Gold status. But limited flight history for someone dressed like this. Ma'am, our records show some irregularities. Did you purchase this ticket directly or through a third party? Kesha didn't blink. Directly, through your website. Want the confirmation number? For minutes left, the young Latina in 3B found her voice. I saw her boarding pass. It definitely said first class. The black man in 4C nodded. I saw it too. Clear as day. Jenkins could feel the story slipping. Captain Rodriguez called over the intercom. Immediate resolution needed. Pressure mounting. Jenkins made the call. Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to deplane for additional verification. That's when Kesha pulled out a black leather business card holder. She placed a card face down on the tray table, her hand resting on top. Mr. Jenkins, before you make any irreversible decisions, I suggest you call Captain Rodriguez to the cabin personally. Ma'am, I have full authority here. Understand, but some things need the captain's attention. Officer Martinez stepped closer. Ma'am, we need to resolve this now. Janelle's live stream had over 280 viewers. She whispered, Y'all, she's stalling, probably thinking up another lie. The businessman's video was trending first-class fraud all over Atlanta Airport's local feeds. Just then, another attendant arrived from the cockpit. Mr. Jenkins, Captain Rodriguez wants you in the cockpit now. He specifically asked about the passenger in 2A. Jenkins, confused but losing ground, moved toward the cockpit. Kesha's fingers lifted from her card. The gold embossed text flashed in the cabin lights. The Latina in 3B read it and her jaw dropped. Moments later, Jenkins and Captain Rodriguez returned. The Captaina, silver-haired veteran, stopped dead when he saw Kesha. Recognition. Fear. Everyone, step back from C2A. He ordered. Martinez and the rest obeyed instantly. Rodriguez approached Kesha, trembling. Ma'am, I sincerely apologize. There's been a terrible misunderstanding. Kesha met his eyes. Captain, I believe you know who I am now. The question is, what are you prepared to do about it? The business card said it all. Washington Aerospace Industries. Dr. Kesha, Washington, CEO and founder. The businessman's live stream caught the card, his voice trailing off as he read. Washington Aerospace CEO. Within seconds, Aviation Insiders Online knew exactly who she was, one of the top 3 aircraft lessors in North America. The very planes Skylink Airlines flew belonged to her company. Kesha pulled up the aircraft lease on her phone. This plane, tail number N847WA, leased by Skylink from my company. Contract value, $2. $3 million a year. 7-year lease. The young woman in 3B gasped. She controls the plane we're sitting on. As the captain tried to regain his composure, Kesha continued. Officer Martinez, would you like me to call our 24-hour verification line? Or maybe you'd prefer to check your own records? Jenkins tried to object, but Kesha shut him down reciting Skylink's own passenger service manual and privacy policies. All the ways Janelle had violated them. Janelle's live stream was still running, now watched by over 600 people, her reputation dissolving in real time. Captain Rodriguez finally got through on the phone to confirm Kesha's identity. The answer was loud enough for the whole cabin to hear. Dr. Washington is the CEO of Washington Aerospace. Is there a problem with her flight? Rodriguez swallowed. No problem. Just routine. He turned back to Kesha, face pale. On behalf of Skylink Airlines, we sincerely apologize. But Kesha wasn't done. She outlined, in detail, the new requirements, staff terminations, retraining, public apology, new protocols for discrimination reporting, and quarterly diversity metrics. The regional director, called in live, agreed to every point. Passengers applauded, many in tears, some in awe. Kesha addressed the cabin. This isn't just about me. It's about every traveler who's ever faced discrimination and didn't have the resources to fight back. Today, we raise the standard, and every one of you is part of that change. 6 months later, discrimination complaints on Skylink dropped 73%. The app Kesha inspired handled one. 200 cases, 94% resolved within a day. Kesha's company expanded their contracts, and the video from that day became required training for airline staff everywhere. Real change didn't come from confrontation or revenge, but from dignity, strategic preparation, and quiet, relentless pressure. So I'm asking you if you've ever witnessed discrimination. On a flight, at work, anywhere, share your story in the comments below. When you see injustice, document it. When you hold power, use it wisely. Because sometimes, raising your standard is the most powerful thing you can do. And when enough people do that, whole industries change one flight at a time.